Alright, welcome back to the Acer Team Straight Cup. Boys and girls, sit tight. This is a best of 9 between these two teams. It's currently 3-2 in the favor of Axiom over Acer. We've had a really back and forth series so far, but we find ourselves with another set of very talented players. Spawning the top left corner of the map, sitting right next to his opponent in real life. You should check out Crank's tweets at Axiom Crank, or at AxCrank rather, on Twitter if you want to see the picture itself. It is going to be Axiom's Alicia.
And bottom right, as the red Terran, it is Acer's MMA.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to put that picture up on stream here. Give me one sec. It's too good not to show. So for those who don't know, MMA is at the Axiom team house, of course, and these two play right next to each other. So to make sure there's no cheating, they threw up a board between the two.
It's like the manila folders in school.
Yeah, like no cheating. Everyone heads down on your desk, whatever it takes. But that is an awesome, hilarious way to do this. So MMA, if we could talk about him for a second, guys, he's really, really dedicated to StarCraft 2 and improving and being the badass and the best that he can be. I don't know how he's going to handle versus Alicia, but we do know that TVP is definitely not his strong suits. There's some players where you look at them and you're like, okay, they're a good player all around, but you know what their strengths and weaknesses are. And while I wouldn't say MMA's weakness is Protoss, I would certainly say it's definitely not his strength.
I like that we're finally going to be able to see this SimCity from Alicia pay off.
It's weird for that last game. But no, this worked out fantastically because Reapers are pretty annoying on this map. Not only do they have that weird path you can come up through the main, but you've also got that sort of secret backdoor cliff. And one of the reasons this happens, by the way, guys, for those who are unfamiliar with Reapers themselves, what happens a lot of the times is you try and dive behind the mineral line. Because you can't go through the mineral line. If you ever go through the mineral line with the Reaper, you're asking for trouble. Because a good player with a quick reaction time will just surround your Reaper with probes. And one of the biggest things about your Reaper is it's not the damage it deals. There's no Hellion follow-up. It's not like versus Zerg. It's critical to keep it alive for scouting, though. If you make the wrong unit composition versus Protoss, you can be screwed. You have to know whether it's a 4-gate. You have to know whether it's Twilight Council or a Stargate opener. Or even a Robo.
And what's extra nice about this wall off is that he didn't do a full wall off. He didn't put the CC at the, the other pylon. But by doing this, you always have to check behind the mineral line because that's where they're going to place the stuff they want to keep secret. So the Reaper is forced to, if it goes up that back ramp, to actually like go around and probably just die before it has any chance of getting behind that mineral line.
Hang on. Real talk. Who shortened Cybernetics score to CC? I'm like, why would he proxy a command center up here? What are you talking about? Whatever, Zombie Girl. The worst abbreviator of all time.
Well, when I take notes, like, it's so much easier to put CC again. And I'm going to figure it out because I'm writing Protoss notes.
Hang on, no. Polling Twitch chat right now. Well, obviously, there's going to be a delay. But, guys, if you hear CC and you automatically think Command Center, type 1. If you hear CC and your brain goes to Cybercore, hit 2. I want to see what chat has to say.
Of course your brain immediately goes to Command Center. But, I hope you guys would figure it out based on the fact I was talking about Alicia, and you don't proxy a command center.
Alicia, whatever. Alright, so we got the engineer bay coming back at home. So he's gonna have turrets and detection if necessary. One of the scary things about this, though, is his Reaper's not gonna be able to get back in for another scout. We talk about Protoss maybe not being the strength of MMA, but one of the big things is you take a player like Joxi, who his TVP is kind of ridiculous. He doesn't lose to much, if ever, aside from the very, very weird strategies. But one thing that makes him so strong in that matchup is his diligent scouting. Whether it's the SCV, whether it's the Reaper, whatever the case may be. And what he needs to do is discover that this is a Twilight Council coming down. This is a big tell. This is a big, big tell.
He's going to dive in, probably in like 20 seconds. He's going to just dive in, try and get past the Stalker, hope the Militia Core is in position, and go for it. Yeah, there we go.
Alright, so even if it dies at this point, as long as it sees it, it did see it.
Okay.
Okay.
And he probably just like barely got a glimpse of it, actually being used. It's not DTs.
Yeah. But you know what? Here's the problem with Blink on this map. You've got Stimpack on the way. There's not a lot of options to blink into the base. There are some really good ones you can abuse, by the way. But the idea is on most maps, Blink hits at a timing before Stimpack's really ready, before Marauders are out. And quite frankly, with the distance that even the probe itself is going to have to travel to start warping in units, Stimpack should time out not too far behind Blink. In fact, it's only going to be like 10 seconds behind it. Just barely.
Alicia shouldn't be doing it all in though. He's got all of his gases taken. He's getting a robo. This is probably just an opener to go ahead and go into Colossus. And I think MMA, well, he's definitely gonna, one bunker at the very least at the front because they're probably attacking from the front. It's a good map for Blink Stalkers. He probably knows it. He's probably gonna make sure to check for it. Of course, he's already setting himself up to go ahead and do that attack that you see a lot often, especially against Blink Stalker all-ins. That just hits, as they have only like 4 Blink Stalkers or something like that, and they try and trade out pretty well.
Yeah. The idea is if you can kill off 3 of the 4 Blink Stalkers before they come across the map, you're not going to kill those as easily once Blink's done and hopping around your base.
He's actually moving out soon, and he's leaving the path.
I love that we can give clear instructions to people, type 1 or type 2. And like, there's still people who'll find a way to put 3 in there. It makes me kind of sad but happy at the same time, knowing that we have anarchists in our midst. Anyways, back rocks being torn down. This is, whoa. This is not something you usually see this early, ever.
Yeah, I always figured, when I first saw this map and I was playing on it, I was like, this is probably going to be only used by a Terran player, like to any sort of, early to mid-game effects. Like later on, like the circles can break down or whatever, but that, I never saw it, so I was always wondering. And Alicia's like, I see you. He's so silly.
Yeah, he was trying to use the high ground. I mean, it was a smart move. He didn't know the observer was there, but snipes it off now.
That's cool.
Kind of goes away like, how can you see me? What sorcery is above me right now?
Alicia goes ahead and backs off with just 4 Blink Stalkers. And they have stim, like, he can't actually take them on.
Hang on top of this too, there's Gravitic Drive coming out pretty quickly. Not a quick Thermal Lance and not Colossus.
That's gotta be a mistake.
No, I think that's very much on purpose.
Dude, unless he's gonna get a bunch of War Prisms.
Well, that's the thing. This is a map where, okay, maybe you can't use Blink Stalkers to great effect, but you can certainly warp in the main, unload, get out. I actually like this move a lot.
He's getting 3 more gateways.
I mean, let's be honest. How many times have you seen like something as small as say like 4 Zealots warp in, wreck a production line, right? I mean, I think the War Prism could be pretty good.
Well, it's certainly going to be cool to see. It's also going to be, if MMA sees this, he's going to think Colossus for sure.
Oh, no! Well, forget what I said about the War Prism. You still got time to cancel it.
Was finished, am I right?
Right? No, I mean, he's unfortunately that doesn't get any use out of it for the time being. But this doesn't mean it's over, guys. War Prisms are going to be good throughout the whole course of the game, and we do have Colossus being produced now. They won't have extended thermal lance, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's not like you can exactly blindly stim in against them. To focus down a Colossus will cost you a lot of your forces.
He's probably just going to get the 1, maybe even 2, but if he gets 3 and is going to extend thermal lance, so I'm going to call that it was a mistake.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, there's a chance that was legitimately a mistake, but I think he actually had intention to use the Warp Prism for Acer effect.
Yeah, he's only going to get that 1.
What? That can reach?
Yes, Marauder's pretty good.
This is the slowest killing of an assimilator I've ever seen.
Shows him a Colossus as well.
Also knocks down the wall, so opens a pathway to possibly engage. A little curious on why he's so focused on the back end rather than just attacking from the front, though. Because it's not like there's Sim City, and it's not like there's cannons down or anything, right? Like, there's nothing that he has to circumvent.
I think this is just preparing for the future. Now that the back rocks are down, that's another avenue of attack when your army's a little bit bigger. He does see this Warp Prism, by the way, and it's gone pretty fast.
Yeah, Gravitic Drive really makes this ridiculous. I mean, you already can't catch Warp Prism with a Viking when it's untransformed, whatever. It's even worse when you get Gravitic Drive, because it can actually untransform and fly away in time.
I don't know if he started pulling as soon as he saw that second Warp Prism, but he has units in the main, like on that ramp, just ready to go for the Warp Prism. So either he knows that, he saw the Warp Prism and he's preparing for that one, or he knows that Alicia does this build, which is kind of a unique build. It's the first time I've seen it.
Again, living in the team house with one another, I'm sure they've certainly talked, if not practiced, with one another about something similar to this. But Alicia's army is really not that scary when we just look at it objectively. The army supply is pretty high, but I mean, it's what 1 Colossus, 1 Archon, 1 Immortal, and a lot of Zealots.
I'm guessing his plan, and it's kind of a smart plan had it gone, well, and that first Warp Prism didn't go ahead and die, is that by using, 1 to 2 Warp Prisms to constantly keep MMA back, he could be really, really greedy. I mean, he got double Forge, he got both tech, and, he'll be perfectly fine, even get a 3rd a bit earlier. It didn't really work out because that Warp Prism died, and the second one's not really doing a whole lot. but it wasn't so much of a you know, a build order that if it didn't do well, he would lose. So I could see him using it against someone who might know of it. It just, I don't know. It might have put him back a little bit. That third seems kind of late, but not enough to end the game.
Awkward pylon found over here, gonna be dealt with pretty quickly. I like they didn't actually land the Vikings for it too. These units can't really afford to lose to like a Zealot Warp in.
Hey.
Control groups? Control groups, I think? Yeah, you probably had them all in control group. F2A move, am I right?
Yeah, the Goldilocks here.
Alright, well, third base for Alicia's coming up. I mean, the thing is he can overcharge it, he can overcharge 2 bases at the same time, but you know, you can never really ignore the fact that the back door is down. A lot of your focus is going to be sort of towards the right side of your base, because that's where your third's coming in, but I mean, Alicia's got a big doorway. He can't really drop so easily because of cannons, but I mean, it's one cannon. It's not going to stop drops, it'll just deter them.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't put another cannon off to the left, though, just in case there was 6 Marines off to the side. It would buy him enough time.
Over here. Oh, there's one. Never mind.
He still has that warpism too. Oh, never mind. It is going in. It went into the third, and it's now going into the main. And MMA just, what does he have
pulls.
back there?
He just pulls. But he can't abandon this. Level 3 weapon upgrades are on the way. If Alicia focuses this down, it's really going to hurt. But MMA's going for the big push. He goes for the base snipe on the Nexus, gets the natural, pushes up towards the third, but finds some Colossus waiting for him. So has to back away from there. But that engineering base is probably going to go down. If he loses his level 3 weapon upgrades, that is really going to hurt.
Yeah, I mean, his opponent's been chronoing out double upgrades his entire time. It looks like it will go down.
Denied. Extended Thermal Lance finishes up behind this. And MMA, well, he's still applying a lot of pressure. Alicia doesn't quite know where to go because if he responds to the left, MMA pushes with the right and vice versa. I focuses down on the Stalker so he can try and medevac out if he needs to, but right side of the map, force fields go down and Archons will slaughter the forces that are here. MMA really needed those level 3 weapon upgrades. But behind this...
Vikings. His Vikings are back home.
Oh, wow. Did he send them all back home to deal with the... Well, it did with the War Prism.
Yeah, it's so easy to do that, even though, you know, looking back on it, you should only send 1 to 2, but it's just, you know, control groups. You're in a hurry.
Well, I think the other thing, too, is we had the Ghost Academy come down, but did that get picked off? No, it didn't. Where the heck is this thing?
Click on it.
Oh, there we go, the third.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so he's got Ghost potential, but he hasn't made any yet. Templar habit revealed, and Ghosts are never bad. EMPs are pretty good against Colossus, especially when you pair them up with the Vikings. But the biggest thing was like he's seen the Immortals for quite some time now. There's a lot of players who will insist on trying to just raw brute force. That we've seen MMA actually succeed in doing that in the past, where you don't even get Ghosts. But I think an EMP or two is always going to be a good thing to have. I can't think of a situation where you're like, man, I really wish I didn't have an EMP for that fight.
Yeah, well, it comes down to like the whole. You know, is it worth getting the Ghost above getting, you know, 2 Marauders instead, or however much the conversion works out? And some people say it's not, but this fight's not going to go well without his entire army. But half his army is going off to the third, and that is a dead third for Alicia, but also a dead fourth for MMA.
No, it gets canceled. It was something that was but you're right. The base going down for Alicia's going to suck because you know what? There's nothing to stop him from going straight to that natural once again. So he picks off the pylons, picks off the probes, picks off the Nexus. And if this comes down to a base trade, I actually don't know who wins this straight up. The Colossus are pretty scary, but there's not a lot of actual ground forces here. The physical numbers of Alicia's army are not that great, but they're strong units is what makes it so scary. Archons are going to be pushing forward. EMP's not going off. Ghosts are going to die without EMP. But looks like the attack on the other side of the map will be dealt with. Some Zealots were warped in, and this is looking really scary for MMA, quite frankly. Alicia pushing way too strong on top of the production. We got some units coming from behind, going to pick off the Colossus if they can, but again, all these Ghosts died, and I don't think a single EMP went off. Or no, they did, because the Immortals were losing shields.
Well, still, unless he can take down all of the Colossus, which he's really trying to do, but the Archons and the Stalkers are trying their hardest not to let him, he's not going to win the engagement, but just barely not getting those Colossus. Oh, he does get it. Okay, so he can actually take on this army a little bit better, you know, trying to really focus on the Archons, run away.
He's down to 2 workers, Zombie Grub.
Oh, God. Okay.
I love MMA, and I'm rooting for him hard here, but I don't know that you can recover from this much of a loss.
No, he can't.
Drops, he tried to, I mean, the drops too were a good move behind this. Like, he tried to do a bit of damage, but the Colossus coming out was too much. The Zealot weapons were too strong, and I just don't think he was ready for this forced counterattack. Alicia said, you know what, you're going to keep taking my bases. I can't fight this. I'll just fight you on the other side of the map and make you come to me. Oh god, even the orbital's burning. There's 3 SCVs. Where are the SCVs at? There's one repairing. Collecting his army here. Ah, this is just looking pretty bad. MMA doesn't have a lot left to play with.
Nah. It's
Bunker
it's over for MMA.
It's sad to see, but this is good for Axiom, as this will put them up 4-2 now. It means, well, Acer can resurrect a player, most importantly, but who do they send out against Alicia? Because Alicia is a Protoss against a team full of Terrans and Zerg.